It's been about 6 months since last I talked to Jose Segarra. Then he was mayor pro tem. Now he is the mayor of the city of Killeen. So I wanted to stop by and find out how things are going. We talked about everything, about his vision for the city, where we're going, and of course I asked him a couple of questions about the budget. Just want to kind of know some of the challenges that you face when taking the office. Now, I know you were mayor pro tem prior to taking the mayor job, but are there any surprises from when you went from that position to mayor position that you didn't realize then?
No, I knew that the mayor, it's a challenge, and I think my biggest challenge has nothing to do with what actually goes on in the council itself, because there's always going to be challenges. That's part of why we need a council, and that's why we have a mayor. You're always going to face different things that come up no matter what. But as mayor, the biggest challenge that I have is just trying to be in so many different places at once. Being mayor, it's fun because you get to know a lot of different people within the community.
All right, so not so much on the fun side of things, but there has been a lot of talk about the budget. Could you kind of give us a quick rundown on where it was and what's happening now for the 2017?
When we go through budgets every year, this year there was a shortage on budget, and what happened is that it made the council realize that, hey, maybe we're spending too much. Our city has been growing, for several years, and with growth comes expenses too. And sometimes you may get a little bit carried away on some of the things that but sometimes there are important expenses. If your city's growing, you want to be able to protect our citizens, and that may require more public safety, more police, especially what we're doing now. We have a lot of transportation projects going on, and sometimes you have to anticipate growth, and that's where another expense comes in. Because if you're saying, I'm going to spend on this for future growth because of our roads, like what we did in 190, one of the very first things when I was on the council when I became a council member about 4 or 5 years ago, was to approve the expense that we did on 190 there. That cost the city about $3-4 million, but we got about $25 million back from TechStop. And so the city, a lot of times when we receive these grants, whether it's a COP grant or something, even though it's good money and it's free, eventually you end up paying for it. And the COP grants is a good example that we love those grants because it's free money and it'll last maybe 2 years. But after 2 years, you still have to pay for that out of your city money. Gotcha. So that's just one of many things that we have to budget for and we have to kind of curb. We've done a lot of great things. Our interim city manager, he was the police chief, as you know, and he had the biggest department, and putting him in that position at first, it's like, wait, are you putting the fox in charge of the hen house? Some of us said, but actually that, I think, to me, it was one of the smart moves right now as a temporary position, because he's able to see things that maybe someone coming out from the outside. Eventually we are going to have a new city manager, but at this moment would take several months for him to adapt and get to know all these big departments.
Sure.
And when they come in and say, police department, you need to cut vehicles, they may not know exactly which vehicles are needed and which are not, and which to cut. Well, him knowing that department, he's able to say, I'm going to shift vehicles from this department to this other one. And if the other department says, wait a minute, we need them, he's able to say, no, you don't. You've had those things there parked and they hardly move. And so he's able to implement things that, because he knows it. The city's supposed to have, like, by policy, a certain amount of fund balance left over. And so we had to drop that to about 18%, but with all the cuts and everything that we've done. And keep in mind that when we look at a cut, the first thing that the council asks is this going to sacrifice service to our citizens? So all these cuts that have been happening, the citizens haven't had to sacrifice the service. Now, in a few months, you're going to see that it's gone back to its 22% with the cuts that we've done. And so we're strong. We're doing real good.
Gotcha. I noticed that there is significant growth in the city. I mean, Walmart being one, and I'm surprised that they're putting up so many. But is there any expected big industry that's expected in this area? Or are we trying to invite any bigger industry besides, of course, Fort Hood?
Well, you're always hoping that somebody will come in, and we do that. We have economic development that goes out there. But industry, as you know, a lot of cities have lost their industry. We're more a service-oriented type community. And to me as mayor, what I value the most is that small individual businessman, that person that says, you know what, I want to start my own little company. And we have a lot of those. And you combine all those together, and it's probably bigger than an industry. And you can see the small businessman is huge around here. We do have service type businesses that are coming in. You know, we're working on a big shopping center, restaurants, and a few other things that are coming into our community. With Killeen, we love to eat. So it's like, wow, that's good. But I think this is my vision. My vision, I always tell everybody, and everybody that wants to hear me, I say, you know, if I can do one thing as mayor, this would be it. It would change the identity of Killeen through what we have in the North Killeen. In Rancier, and you see Filipino restaurants, you see that Hawaiian restaurants, one of the best, you see Puerto Rican restaurants, and I go down there for lunch sometimes, those places are packed.
Yeah.
And so I say, you know, we have the business, we have that culture that most cities are fighting for, but yet it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. So my challenge to our interim city manager and everybody that I can talk to is, let's work on fixing Rancier. Let's beautify Rancier. I love to run. As you know, I love to run, and I like to get out. And I think most people around here, if they're given that opportunity to go from their house, because a lot of times it's like, I don't have anything to do. If they can just get out instead of getting in their car and just walk. Let's say they want to just walk in our beautiful sidewalks and walk down to one of our streets in downtown Rancier, to an ice cream shop or to a coffee shop, a local coffee, or to one of those fine, that'd be neat, because a lot of people, that's what they want. They want a certain lifestyle where they can just get out, get to know their neighbors, walk their dog, do whatever. It's amazing, because when I get out, I go out and I do Lions Park, I go down Stagecoach. Every morning, I see people out. I see people getting out, walking. They love to exercise, they love to walk. So I said, it's all there. We just need to provide the infrastructures to get people to get out and connect all our communities. And I think that starts with our Rancier, because if we can change that, it would change our image, it would change the identity. It's already there, it's just beautifying it, putting more green space there, putting more sidewalks, and that's my number one goal as mayor. I always tell people, if I can do one thing, that would be it right there.
And that answers my other question, because I was going to ask about your priorities. So since you've already answered that, the project going south, particularly down 195, what is that whole development plan looking like, or what is the plan for that, if any?
195, I think that's the new corridor to big cities like Austin. And in real estate, what we're seeing is we're seeing more and more people come to Killeen from Austin and from those areas, especially right now that you have easy access with the 195. You have our university there. But the main attractor to our city here is affordability. We had one guy last month come here, and he's moving from Austin to Killeen, and I asked him, I said, why are you moving from Austin to Killeen? And he said, well, I can't afford Austin no more. Home prices have gone out of roof in Killeen. He's an electrician. I can do my job from here, and his wife works in Georgetown. So she's going to commute down 195, and she says that's an easier commute than commuting the traffic they do in Austin.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think it's great for us, and you're going to see a lot of growth. I think that as we develop our university there, we're getting ready next year to start our third building. Over the years, you're going to see a tremendous growth. That's going to have an impact on the community, and we need to honor our citizens, because you know they've done so much for us to be able to live the life that we're living here. And so we kind of need to give that back by providing a lifestyle, a living place that they can say, you know what, I'm proud to call Killeen my home. I'm proud to be able to live, because it's a beautiful place.
It is.
And it's right next to the great place.
Yeah.
So we need to take it serious and say, let's beautify it. Let's make it a place that everybody can be proud to say, you know what, I love this place.
Gotcha. For those of us that like to be more involved in what's going on, how often are the council meetings being held at City Hall?
We still do them every Tuesday. We have 1 week it's a workshop, and 1 week is the actual council meeting where we vote on it. You just look at the city website, and you look on there and you'll see the agenda, what's coming up. Sometimes we have public hearings where people can come out, and if they have an opinion, can speak. The city council meetings are televised. The workshops are not, but they are recorded.
Okay. Jose Segarra, Mayor of Killeen, Texas. Place. I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And listen, if you have any questions, go to the website, KilleenTexas.gov. All right, we'll check it out. Thank you.